So what would you say to all of us, and it's almost everyone, right, who find to everyone who finds attractive popular culture, historically that has no historical roots in it, that's cut off from the past. What would you say to them? Would you say to shun the popular culture of the present, or to appreciate it with a different toolbox at hand?
I don't know. I'm not sure about it, and perhaps I'm not the person to ask about it, because I said I watch movies, right? In fact, I write about movies every. I have a regular column in a magazine called Salvo, which is a sort of a edgy but conservative Christian magazine, and I write about movies every 2 months, and it's a 6 times a year magazine. But I choose movies made before 1965 because I don't really care for them.
Right.
I don't find them meaty enough, rich enough. Later on, they're missing things, So I guess I would say, go back to, and you don't have to go back that far. Go back to what would really be popular in the best sense of the word, and cultural in the true sense of the word. Like, for instance, who was the last genuinely popular poet in the United States? That is, a poet that pretty much everybody knew, and everybody could recite maybe one poem by. Robert Frost?
Oh God, maybe. I mean, it's not in my lifetime. I don't think there's been one in my lifetime. Has there?
It's either Frost or Sandburg. Okay?
Yeah, right.
That's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it'd be very interesting for people who love the popular, and I do, okay, and who want the real thing, culture, and not tofu dressed up as a hamburger, Excuse me. To ask the obvious question, when people did sing songs together, what did they do? When people knew the same poems, which ones were they? And why did they know them? What was that like? When Italian cab drivers, maybe they still do this, I don't know. My people come from Italy. I've been to Italy a few times. The last time I was in Italy was 1998. I don't know if it's still the case that Italian cab drivers will get into an argument with each other or with their hires about who was the best prima donna or who was the best tenor.
Right.
It means something to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd suggest that we try to find out again what that's like. I give you an example. That I've used this several times now, and if anybody has heard me say this already, please forgive me for the redundancy. But here's an example of a genuine popular culture, right? So the year is sometime in the early 1880s, late 1870s, and we're in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right? Place of Harvard. And a group of boys, about 12 years old, okay, they decide, this almost comes like from a different universe. They decide that they're going to knock on the door of an old man they've never met personally, okay? Because it's his birthday today. They know it's his birthday. He's 75 years old. And they want to knock on his door and wish him a happy birthday because he is their favorite poet. And so they do. And in fact, he wrote poems that were read by children everywhere, okay? In America, his name was Longfellow, Henry Wadsworth.
Okay.
And the boys like this poems. So they knock on the door. They wish him a happy birthday. And he invites them in. and they have tea and sweets, and they spend the whole afternoon talking about boy stuff and talking about poems, right? Because Longfellow always liked kids. He was very fond of kids. Um, that was the I know the anecdote because one of the boys much later on wrote about it, in a reminiscence in the Century magazine, and that was it. It was kind of poignant because 2 weeks later, Longfellow died. So it was the last birthday he ever had on Earth. Right? What's that like?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kinds of human beings is this conceivable?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can see, it's hardly conceivable for me, right? I mean, I know about it from the outside, and because I'm a Roman Catholic, I do, in some great measure, participate in this kind of thing. And yet, I also have a sense that this very normal thing for human beings is in large part missing.
Hmm.
So I would suggest to everybody, dig a little bit and find out. And you won't have to go far. You can go any place in the world. Find out what it might be to be truly cultural and truly popular at the same time.
Hmm.